What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Red Light, Green Light podcast, episode 2. My name's Jeremy. As always, joined by Aaron.
How's it going, guys?
Aaron, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I had a little technical difficulty, but other than that,
Yep.
I'm good. Got it fixed. Everything's now seems to be working up to par. So good now. Got a little. Which we'll talk about later. But got a little Kirby gameplay in, so we'll talk about
Mm-hmm.
that later. But yeah, so good
Nice.
times.
Yeah. Recording on a Saturday. I took my dog to the vet this morning. Good,
Yep,
good bill of
all good.
health. So, yep,
There you
all
go.
good. So
It's a good
that's
day.
what we like to hear because those problems are pricey. So,
Yeah, that's one of the.
um,
It's
yeah,
funny they make it's not like if you have kids, at least you got insurance. It covers it. Dogs are just you're
you
kind
can
of
get
out.
uh you can get pet insurance, but I've heard it's not really worth it. So,
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I've heard it's it can be expensive and doesn't cover much. So
but anyways, this is a video game podcast.
yeah, sorry, real life stuff getting recorded.
Xbox, Nintendo, anything in between. Real quick before we get into what we've been playing, just some quick news bits. We don't really have to go into here. Sony has bought Haven Studios, the studio that was formed last year by Jade Raymond, who was at Ubisoft for a long time, worked on Assassin's Creed games and other stuff over there. They announced that they're working on a live service multiplayer game, and that I think that is a smart move for PlayStation because they got the single player stuff locked down. Um, there is a rumor that PlayStation is showing off its Game Pass competitor this coming week, which we will definitely talk about next week because Xbox Game Pass is a big deal on our show, so we'll definitely be checking out the competition. Um, there is a rumor going around. There's will be a Ubisoft game showcase in the coming weeks. That was leaked by Tom Henderson over on the website's slipping my name, but I follow him on Twitter. But stuff like new Assassin's Creed game, new Immortals Phoenix Rising game, which is cool. That's getting a sequel, and then the Division free to play game supposedly. So that's exciting for me. I like Ubisoft games. Aaron's favorite game of all time, Godfall Ultimate Edition, launching on
Yeah,
Xbox One and Xbox Series consoles on April 7th. Retailing for $40 with a special launch price of $30. And just to remind everyone, that game is only possible on the PlayStation 5.
yeah. Best experience. Hey, I will
uh,
say it'd be kind of funny is at the price they're selling it on the Xbox. If the game was more successful on Xbox based on the price than it was on the
right.
PlayStation.
Yeah, and you get all the DLC and all that good stuff. So I always say I'll check it out on Game Pass. I'll do
Yeah.
it. And then last little quick thing I got here. Nintendo Switch got a firmware update this past week, and you can now make folders.
Woo.
Hooray. A lot of people were excited about that.
They were. Yeah, I heard it. It was kind of blew up the internet for the minute.
Yep. So we'll jump into what we've been playing. Aaron, what have you been up to this week?
Well, so I have been playing. Well, I picked up Kirby yesterday, and I've been playing that. I played that yesterday when I got off work. I played it for quite a while, actually, a few hours, and beat the first boss, whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
really been digging the game. I like it a lot. Feels really good. Platforming is solid. I mean, right now, like it's just fun. I mean, obviously the game's very easy, but it's okay. Sometimes easy is good. When life is hard, games are easy. It's good. I mean, if you want hard, you got Dark Souls. Go play that. So,
Yeah,
um,
exactly.
but it's good. Like I like the hidden stuff. I like the collectibles. Like I'm totally all about like 100% in games, and the Nintendo has a really good. They don't have achievement systems, obviously, but they have a good way of making completion fun on some of their first party games. And so, like just like Mario games, completing those games 100%, and they're usually very rewarding. Like in Mario, if you complete it 100%, you get bonus worlds or stuff like that. So, um, curious to see what this turns out to be. If if there's any rewards for completing it, or if you just the reward is, hey, I was successful. Like so, but we'll see. That's a journey that I've just begun, so we'll see how it turns out.
Um, cool. Yeah, I've also been playing Kirby. So, well, I'll start at the beginning of my week here. Since we last spoke, I beat Triangle Strategy.
Nice.
Um, I got the so there's technically four endings. I did not get the one true ending, and it kind of hurt me a little bit because like the feels of the like stuff
Uh,
happens, stuff goes down. It's like, oh man, and then it's like if you did the one true ending, it's like, oh well, then everyone kind of gets their happy ending type thing, and unfortunately that was not the case with my ending. Um, but I really dug how the choices led me to the ending. Like the choices in the game really do matter, and that's really cool because some games will be like, oh, you got your choice, you got choice based system, but then ultimately the endings are pretty similar. But with Triangle Strategy, the endings all are pretty different, and the way you could take them. So I will at some point be returning to this game to get that one true ending. And there is a new game plus, so hopefully it won't take me as long as it did the first playthrough. But definitely
nice.
recommend it to all strategy game fans on Switch, and then in a few years, I'm sure it'll make its way to PC and other stuff.
Yeah.
And then after that, I did try Tunic out on Game Pass. It's out on all the Xbox consoles and PC. Um, I played it for a little bit, and then I was like, it is good, and I want to go back to it, but it just wasn't what I was feeling like playing at that time. Especially after Triangle Strategy, I was like, I kind of want to just something a little bit more actiony. So I started up Bioshock Infinite on
Nice.
Xbox, which I did play, back in the day when it came out on 360, and I really liked it a lot. So it's a replay, and then also, the complete edition comes with the DLC, which I haven't played, so I'm going to be getting around to that at some point. Um, but yeah, I definitely Bioshock Infinite. Some people think the first Bioshock's the best one, which it is very good. A lot of people consider that one of the greatest games of all time, but I just prefer Infinite a lot more. I just like the story and the world a lot better, personally. But definitely, it's a good shooter, and it's kind of what I needed to kind of break up the triangle strategy before the Kirby collectathon. Um, so, which brings me to Kirby. I definitely agree with like everything you were saying. It's easy for the most part. There was one mission I was struggling with last night with the boss. You had to beat it without getting hit,
Yeah.
and I kept like taking like one little tiny piece of damage. It was irritating me. I was gonna break my controller, but on a Kirby game. So, but yeah, I did. Like you said, got all the 100% in like the first area, and then um, I started up the second area earlier. So I'm really digging it. Like you said, it's easy, but that's okay. Sometimes
Yeah.
easy is a good
Well,
thing. So,
I think some of the challenge too, like somebody said, like I avoided this game like the plague until it came out, so I didn't want to
mm,
like watch anything. I didn't play the demo, but I did hear somebody say something about there was like these little extra missions, and I think they're called treasure roads.
mm-hmm.
And I think the challenge to the game, I think, comes there. Like if you're looking to like
Yeah,
100% the game, like because there's a, I'm sure you've played the treasure roads, right?
yeah.
Yeah, and so like there's there's a target time,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
I don't know if it's necessary, but you get a little extra reward for completing the target time on
Yeah,
some of
you
the
get
challenges.
extra money, the
Yeah,
coins, whatever they're called.
and so some of
Um,
those are hard. Like there's one I played
mm-hmm.
earlier, and like I started playing it last night, and I had to walk away, and I just came back to it today and was able to beat it. But it took me probably 30-40 minutes to get it in the time limit. So I was like,
Yeah,
which is cool. I mean, it does. I think it kind of balances the game out. I think it kind of adds the main story's easy, and then your side challenges. If you want to complete it, you have to work a little bit at it. So,
Hmm. Yeah,
so
it's
it's kind of
definitely
cool.
a perfect game for like a kid too. Like if
Oh
you're
yeah,
like you can play co-op with your kid or something, which is cool.
yeah, that would be. I saw that the co-op. I'm not a big like couch co-op person, but I think that would be fun, like to sit down and play this game with somebody else.
Yeah, I well, Hunter, my wife was wanting to play with me, and I'm like, it's already so easy. Like,
Yeah, it is.
like, like, I feel like it would just be like boring. Like
Yeah,
it's just right on that line where it's not boring. But if you add in another person that is extremely competent, then it would just be like, okay, well,
yeah,
we're just
I
kind
can
of
see
doing
that.
this. So, but if you had like a little kid and you're just you're playing, then that's cool. But
Yeah,
but yeah, I am digging it. It's definitely like I'm trying to slow burn it through uh, when Lego Star Wars comes out in about a week and a half. So trying to like take my time with it a little bit before then, because that's obviously Lego games are the collectathons too. So
yeah, and I have a feeling this Lego game is going to be massive. Like I'm
yeah,
talking, like if you're going to be,
huge.
if you're talking about 100%ing it, you're looking. I don't know. Like I'm assuming it's going to be hundreds of hours. Like it's just big
It's
game.
a
I
big
mean,
one.
it spans
Yeah,
every Star Wars movie. Like
right.
so, I don't
Yeah, I'm
know.
looking. I thought it was releasing Friday, uh, April. I think that's the second one. This April 4th. Or no, hang on, I'm looking at the wrong. April 1st. April 1st is Friday. I thought that's when it was releasing, but then I looked again and it said April 5th, which is a Tuesday. And I'm like, that's annoying.
Yeah.
Like, I thought we all agreed Friday was the good day. So, but,
Well, yeah. Well, since it's coming out on other consoles, some of them other consoles like to mix it up. They're like, you
mm,
like more Fridays? It's like here, it's coming out on Tuesday.
yeah.
And then sometimes you get
So,
the indies, and they're like, how about Thursday?
yeah, no kidding. So that's what I've been playing. So um, we'll jump into the news here. We got pretty packed, pretty
I just
packed out show here.
I just noticed
So
real quick. I mean, since for our listeners on the doc, I realized that something you already have on here, I added at the end, so we can just skip that at the end.
yes, I saw that. It's
Okay.
all good.
I totally read the notes. Just totally overlooked that. But
That's all good. First thing, number one, Microsoft has announced its cloud gaming organization, a new publishing arm serving as a way for developers to create completely cloud based Xbox games. The division is led by Kim Swift, a former Valve developer who joined Xbox last year. She says, we're focused on working with amazing developer partners to create and ship games exclusive to the Xbox ecosystem. She goes on to say, quote, cloud gaming is still in its infancy, and with that, I personally think about it is using the example of Netflix. When Netflix first got started, they ultimately believed in streaming television and movies through the internet. They had to wait for the technology to catch up with their vision, but they were ready for it. End quote. So obviously with this, Aaron, they're continuing to uh, Xbox is continuing to invest in their cloud services. They obviously have it going on Apple, Android. You can even stream to your PC and some to your actual console, so you don't even have to download it. So some people are saying, oh, like last week we were talking about the hardware possible hardware leak, so people are like, oh, maybe they're getting, they're gearing up for that, cloud stick type thing, or the app on the TV or something. So, Aaron, what were you? How does this speak to you?
um, I think it's kind of cool. I mean, if they can perfect it, I mean, cloud gaming is. I mean, like I said, it is still in its infancy, and but it's making um leaps and bounds, I guess you could say. And I'm not opposed to cloud gaming 100%. Like, so we've talked before. I'm a physical collector as far as Nintendo games go, but as time's gone on, like other consoles, which obviously I don't have right now, but if I had them, like I'm not as into physical on those consoles as I am into Nintendo. So if like say Microsoft announced that they got a new cloud system and everything on their Game Pass is coming to the cloud and you can buy this $150 dongle, you plug it in your TV and everything's ready to play, I'd be like, all right, let's go day one. That's, I'd totally purchase it. If it was up, I'd say if it was up to, no, I'm going to use this, and I don't mean like their ecosystem or their system, but I think if it was up to like Stadia's um
Mm-hmm.
level of gaming, then I think it would be I'd be okay with it. Like if they can promise me that when I plug it in that the game's going to play like it's on console, then I'd be down.
Yeah, I think there's a couple things they would need to do. Well, first thing is not everyone's internet is the same, and it depends on where you are at
Yes.
uh, in the world, especially not only access to the internet, but how far you are from one of these Microsoft data centers type thing. So I think obviously what they would need to put out some kind of, before you buy it. Let's say they release that thumbstick, like Google Stadia did. They would be like, hey, before you do that, go to this website and we'll test your connection, make sure that you can stream games decent. Uh, you know I wouldn't say you should play competitive Call of Duty on it,
Yeah.
on any streaming service right now, but you'll be able to run Tunic really well, or stuff like that. So I think this is like they say, it's a way to kind of build on what they have already. Microsoft obviously huge in the cloud and stuff like that. And I think building on it until when it's finally ready, then they can jump into it, and then when it's ready, and not too early, like Google has kind of done with Stadia. Like it's too early, people don't want it.
Yeah. Well,
Or, and people don't want to spend $60 for a cloud
no,
game
they
as
don't,
well.
and pay for a subscription at the same time. Like Stadia did, like it was a subscription and plus you have to buy the game.
Right. Um, which, yeah, that was a big problem with Stadia, was the subscription plus spend $60 on these 4-year-old games and
Yes.
stuff like
Yeah.
that. So yeah, I think it's cool, and I like how this is initiative to create exclusive cloud games, which is interesting. Like, what does an all cloud game look like? I don't know, but we'll find out probably in the next few years, because the technology just, it's rapidly advancing, and it has been for the last couple of decades. So
Yep.
and exclusive Xbox games, exclusive Xbox ecosystem games,
Yeah.
which is cool.
I think this is cool too on a financial level, not for Xbox, but for like the general public. I think like as
Mm-hmm.
a so I take myself for me and Christy for instance, like we have a daughter, so say she gets older and she really gets into gaming. It's hard. Consoles are expensive,
Mm-hmm.
and like so obviously if she wants a Switch or something, I would buy it. But then if all of a sudden, she grows up a little more, and she's like, well, really like to get into Xbox, or I'd really like to get into PlayStation or whatever. So instead of dropping, as a parent, $500 on a console so she can play whatever, you could just buy this system and then buy Game Pass, which already makes financial sense. And then
Mm-hmm.
boom, they have access to this huge library of games, and so it's definitely a good. I mean, it's a I hate to use this word because a lot of people use it. It's a good entry point, but I do think it's a good. I mean, it's a good place to stay for a while for people who
Right.
are just looking for good experiences or good games. Like I think Game Pass is enough, and I think if you mix that with cloud, I think not only will Xbox increase their subscriptions if they can find a system that works, like a cloud system that works. I think they'll increase their subscriptions, by increase they'll gain more customers
Mm-hmm.
because you'll get so let's say Xbox right now is kind of they're targeting that upper middle class with their consoles. Same with Switch, same with PlayStation, whatever. But then you start bringing in a cheaper alternative, maybe because most of America, again, it's also based on your internet, but internet's one of those things. It's not like, I'm buying the internet so I can play these games. It's most people already have the internet access to the internet anyways because they use it for everyday life, like
Mhm.
streaming movies, work, whatever. And so you can start drawing in your middle lower class or lower middle class because people on a little tighter budget can now afford to buy these video games because they don't have to spend three, four, $500 on a console. They can drop $100 on a so-called console for their TV.
Mhm.
And then so
Yeah.
it's kind of, I don't know, in my mind it makes really good financial sense. I mean, for everybody, Xbox obviously going to rake in the dough no matter what. So I mean,
Mhm.
just
I
line in their pockets so they can buy the world. So
Yeah. So, but yeah, it'll be like I said, it'll just be interesting to watch it, especially as Xbox, they they're planning on buying Activision. So with the titles that they have under the Activision banner, like uh, Diablo, Overwatch, StarCraft, and then how big those games are, especially overseas, like Japan and Korea. I've I can't confirm this obviously, but I've heard that their internet speeds in Japan and Korea, South Korea, I should say, um, are just insane. So cloud gaming is it's viable there.
yep.
Um, so yeah, we'll keep an eye on it definitely as the years go on. So number two, which is the one Aaron linked to earlier, but Dragalia Lost is an action RPG and Nintendo's first original mobile title. First launched in September 2018, is shutting down later this year. It will conclude the main campaign story in July, and sometime after that, the game it will eventually be shut down. So, Aaron, I think when it came out, I downloaded it, but I don't think I actually ever played it. Did you play Dragalia Lost? Do you play it?
I played it when it first came out. Played it for a little bit. Regardless of who makes it, at mobile games, it's just not my cup of tea. Like it's just hard to get into.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my mind won't let me get past the idea of a mobile game. So regardless of how good it is, so I played it for a little bit. It was good. I mean, for what it was, just an action RPG. I mean, I don't remember much about it. I remember the map and traveling from place to place, um, but yeah. So no, I played it for a little bit. It was good. Like I said, it was good. It had a it's different than so it was.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think it would benefit if they could take that idea and transfer it to console and make an actual game. Then I think that would be cool.
Yeah,
Kind of
yeah.
more
Take the IP and make it a real game. Yeah.
yeah. I think if they did that, it'd be. I mean, with the world and I mean, it's just a hack and slash, really. I mean, if you think about it, but
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo's got a way of adding their magic to. I mean, as we see Kirby and Mario, like their games have been around for years. Like they sprinkle their little magic on it and they can revive. So I think if they put the Nintendo magic on it on a console, I think they can make a really good game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I am getting a new iPad. It's coming in a couple weeks, so I might download it just to see what it's all about. I don't know if it's microtransaction heavy or if I could just get through the story or something. So I'll definitely try and download it and check it out a little bit before it goes away forever, lost
Yeah,
to the digital sea.
it is really cool.
Um,
I think it's cool how they're. I mean, it's obviously it's upsetting for people who have played the game and invested money in the game, and
yeah.
now the game's gone forever, and you're out of that money. But that's what you get for playing mobile games and giving them your money. So anyways, but um, I do think it's cool how they're doing it, how they're implementing it. Like they're releasing the final chapter in July, and then it'll be later in the year before they shut the servers down completely. So it gives people time to conclude the story. Like if you're a fan of the story, you can at least play through the entire story, play the last mission,
Hmm.
complete the game, get your closure, and then they'll shut this. They're not just coming in and be like, all right, so if you haven't beat it, sucks to be you. See ya.
Hmm.
So they
For
are
sure.
they are ending the game. properly, which is good. And it's nothing worse than it's like watching a TV show. You watch the TV series, you get to the end, and they're like, there is no end. It's like, well, that was a waste of my life. so
Right. Yeah.
so at least they're ending it properly, which I can appreciate.
Yeah. It's yeah. That's a good thing. And like you said, I don't do well with mobile gaming as well either. It's just like the most I've ever played, and I should say modern because back when iPod Touch first came out, I was like all about them Fruit Ninja and all that
Oh
stuff.
yeah,
But back in the day. But I think last year when that Fantasian game came out for Apple Arcade, I played that quite a bit before I just kind of was like, I can't do phone anymore. So
it
I
is.
can't.
Yeah.
Uh, so anyway, so just if you're a Dragalia Lost player, you probably already heard about that, but keep it in mind. It's the year it goes on. Number 3, Rockstar has announced GTA Plus for GTA Online
Mm.
exclusively for the Xbox Series and PlayStation 5 consoles, and I think PC. I just didn't put that in here. Um, but the membership launches on March 29th, so just a couple of days from now as we record, for $5.99 a month, and we'll give you the following benefits. And people who play the game probably know what this means. I don't. I don't play GTA Online. I've dabbled in it when it was on Game Pass earlier this year or last year sometime. But I don't really know what most of this means. So you get GTA 500,000 delivered automatically to your Maze Bank account. The Principe Divest 8 along with a complimentary Haos Special Works upgrade for it before it is made available to purchase by the general public, plus the HSW Orange Trip and HSW CMYK Glitch liveries. The auto shop located in La Mesa introduces an assortment of gameplay updates from Los Santos tuners. Current auto shop owners can relocate to La Mesa at no additional cost. Waived LS Car Meet membership fees. Current LS Car Meet memberships or members with GTA Plus will be reimbursed GTA 50,000 during this event period. Yacht owners can upgrade to the Aquarius Super Yacht at no additional cost. The Gousette Frog Tee and Broker Prolapse basketball top and shorts automatically added to your wardrobe. The conveyor livery for the Mammoth Avenger HVY APC and TM-02 Conjali. A selection of free paints and emblems for the auto shop. 3 times GTA money and RP on House Special Works Race Series. 2 times car wheat rep on the street race series. So, like I said, I don't play GTA Online. This isn't surprising, though. Subscriptions are just the future. But I did see on Twitter from people that do play the game that this wasn't really all that worth it, and that if you just play the game, you'd get most of this stuff within like a week, anyways. So I don't know, if it's worth it to those people or not. So, and yeah.
That's crazy.
Aaron doesn't play GTA Online either. So.
I do not. I don't. I've never even played a GTA game.
So we'll just move on from there. Number 4, CD Projekt Red has announced they are working on a new Witcher game. The teaser image suggests they are moving in a new direction by creating a new school showing a Lynx medallion. CD Projekt Red have also confirmed they are moving to Unreal Engine 5 for the Witcher project instead of using their own Red engine. The Cyberpunk 2077 expansion and all future content will still use the Red engine. Now, Aaron, I've you don't you don't play. Are you into Witcher, like the books or anything? Or
I no, I've never played the game. I've seen. I mean, I've seen some of the TV show, which I don't recommend watching.
yeah,
Like, it's definitely not for children. I will say. I mean,
right,
everybody do their own. Like, use your own moral compass. However, obviously, I can't speak for you on
sure.
that. But what I've seen of the show is, I mean, it's really good. But other than that, I have no tie to the lore.
Mm-hmm.
the idea of the game is cool.
Yeah.
Like I like the I like the character, like how he's kind
Hmm.
of a good bad guy.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, no. I mean, I have no
Gotcha.
tie. Like I said, I've got no, I guess, connection to the game.
Yeah, I'm waiting until there's a supposedly this year they're releasing a current gen upgrade for Witcher 3, so I'm just kind of waiting for that. Um,
Oh, nice.
but the links thing, I like you said, I'm not super familiar with the lore, but he wears a wolf medallion, I think, and that's like he's like of the wolf school or something, and then this Lynx is like it's like a new school. It's not even in the books or anything, so like they're making their own direction, I guess, because I don't think it'll be the same character or anything like that. So it's cool, and it's cool that they're moving to their to the Unreal Engine,
Yeah,
um,
it's
because while I think the Red Engine, just I haven't played Cyberpunk, but the the footage I've seen, it looks really good, but it seems like they struggle with it, obviously with the how Cyberpunk released.
yes,
So with Unreal Engine 5, it's with Epic they basically you know with paying for Unreal Engine 5, they get like tech support basically for the engine. So if they have a problem, then experts get called in and they're like, help fix the issue with the game, which is cool. And obviously they felt that investment was worth it after what happened with Cyberpunk. So
yeah. They don't want another repeat,
mm,
especially not on Witcher. Witcher is kind of like their staple.
right.
When you see the name CD Project Red, the first thing that pops in your head is Witcher.
Hmm.
But I will say, I do know a little bit. I guess I know a little bit more, but I will say that I know that you said you were talking about the wolf, and yeah, that is true. Like there is supposedly how the Witcher goes. There are no more like Witchers. They're like they're not being created, so whatever exists exists, and so they're
Uh-huh.
obviously immortal. So unless they die, they are murdered. Like
Killed.
they'll
Yeah.
continue to live on, but there's not being any more um, Witchers created. But the wolf, that school is, as far as you know, is the only Witchers to exist. So having another
Okay.
school, it's kind of neat.
Yeah.
So the lynx being, obviously a lynx is a cat, so wolf is a dog. So it's kind of neat how there's going to be an opposing
Hmm.
force. So
For
that could
sure.
be cool.
So,
No, I'd really like to get into Witcher. I'd like to play. I mean, I know Witcher 3 is on Switch, and I mean it's a
yeah.
thing, but I don't know. I just never. There's too many other games to buy. Too many other
There,
games to play. I
there
mean, I
is,
haven't got
and
Triangle
so like
Strategy.
the
Like
Witcher games are huge. So
they are, and like, there's Triangle Strategy coming out, and that's out, and I haven't got it. You got freaking Skywalker Saga coming out, but so it's hard to get into. But I mean, the world of The Witcher, I mean, it's kind of like it's up my alley. It's that I like it. Like I said, the idea behind it. So,
yeah,
but and it is exciting that they're switching up. You know, it's good to see that a company, especially CD Project. I've always liked CD Project Red just for um their stance on their customers, how they treat their customers. They do what the customers want, and I kind of lost a
mhm,
little faith when they released Cyberpunk. I was like, I kind of feel like they let the customer base down. Um, so it's cool to see that they're redirecting and they're dropping their engine. It's almost like they're admitting it's like
yeah,
like you said, they get that tech support. It's almost like they're saying, all right, we messed up, we can't do this, let's get some help,
hmm
which I
and
can appreciate.
yeah,
Doing
and
a
as far as
180,
I
kind of like
am
a start over.
right, yeah, and as far as I'm aware, at this point in time, Cyberpunk, it's at a pretty good place. Like if you were to pick it up, I should say if you were to pick it up and play it on one of the new consoles, not Xbox or PS4, Xbox One or PS4, then it'll run really well. Um, but I have not played it. Would like to at some point. I just, you know, like you said, there's so many games out. It's
Yeah,
like,
it's yeah. No, Cyberpunk's big too. And it's like what? It's just
yeah,
there's just not enough time.
No, there's not. Uh, but moving on, we'll see The Witcher 4 in like 6 years.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, it'll be
um,
a while.
number 5, Rocksteady's Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League is being delayed to 2023. Not a huge surprise, considering WB's already releasing Hogwarts Legacy and Gotham Knights this fall.
Yep.
But it is a little disappointing, just because I think the game looks cool. But um, Aaron, what did the Suicide Squad game, like the trailer stuff we've seen the last couple? Is that doing anything for you?
Yeah, I think so. I think I'm Suicide Squad's always been interesting. And I'm kind of a fan of the the smaller spin-offs. Like, I always like I don't know, this, maybe they're not underdogs, but I always like rooting for the underdogs. And so these are, the stories you don't hear about. And I remember when the Suicide Squad, they got introduced in I think they were introduced in the TV show Smallville at one point.
Yeah,
And I remember seeing that, and I was like, I was like, oh, that's cool, it's cool. And then, you obviously got the movie, which did okay, but kind of still gets a bad rep. I liked it, and so obviously
well,
it's got Harley Quinn,
the,
which, I mean, you can't go wrong when she's in something. So,
mm,
um, so I like the idea, like, not to that I say root for the bad guys, but it gives you a different, because you hear the superhero thing, the superhero thing, the superhero thing, and it's always done, 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 and you never hear anything about the villains. So it's always cool to see another side of the story. And
yeah,
sometimes it's okay for the superheroes to be the bad guys.
yeah,
It's just a what if situation. But so I'm kind of excited, like to see what they do with it. And if they can improve it, a little delay is not that bad.
right. Um, did you see the newest Suicide Squad movie?
I have not seen any Suicide
Oh,
Squad movie.
see that? Yeah, that's like infinitely better than
That's what I've heard.
the original one. But yeah, so I'm just I'll when it comes out, I'll play it for sure. I liked Rocksteady's Batman games. I like the Suicide Squad as far as the movie goes, and this seems like it's kind of taking a lot of cues from the movie, so which is cool. So see you next year for that. Number 6, Ilphonic, the developers behind Friday the 13th and Predator Hunting Grounds, is making a Ghostbusters game. The game is called Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed and is aiming to release on PlayStation, Xbox, and the Epic Game Store sometime in 2022. The game is of similar style to their previous works, being a 4v1 multiplayer game where up to 4 Ghostbusters take on a ghost controlled, or I should say a player controlled ghost. I put ghost control player. Be weird. The the Ghostbusters must use various tools to find the ghost and not scare any civilians in the area. According to the developers, the game takes place after the most recent Ghostbusters movie, Afterlife. So, Aaron, are you? How does this sound to you? Are you a Ghostbusters fan at all, or anything?
I am a Ghostbusters, so I'm an OG Ghostbusters fan. So I'm like, the Bill Murray and the um
Mm-hmm.
Dan Aykroyd, all those the OGs, like the the one with the all female cast. It was good, but
No, it
I
wasn't.
like the OG. I haven't seen Afterlife yet, so pretty excited to see that. But this game sounds amazing. Um, and I've heard that some of the actors are going to come back and reprise their roles as voiceovers. So I was like, that's cool too. So
Just for the record, the 2016 Ghostbusters movies is not good.
it's
Um, I saw it in theaters. It wasn't good, and the only funny parts were men, which is also amusing. Um, so as far as the franchise goes, I do like the original. I don't think I ever saw the second one, which I know some people don't like as much. I did, like I said, I saw 2016 Ghostbusters. I have not seen the most recent one with Paul Rudd and the Stranger Things kid, um, but I've heard good things. And then I know there's been some Ghostbusters games. I have not played them. Um, but I think it's a cool, like it's a cool idea that it's cool that this developer's kind of sticking with um, these kinds of games with Friday the 13th and which was really popular for a lot of people. And unfortunately, I think it got shut down. Unfortunately, just I think there were some licensing things that came out about that or something that they
Yeah.
had to shut down.
Yep.
Um, and then the Predator Hunting Ground, I don't think it was as popular, but it's just cool to see like some um, a developer still making these kinds of games. So like I said, this is supposed to be this year, so we'll see how it shakes out. So, but Aaron, you added these last couple of things here. Do you want to kind of take it from here?
Yep. I can do that. So AMD, obviously they released their um kind of their upscaling their new upscaling technologies called uh, FFR, which stands for um, basically it's Fidelity FX resolution. So I
Mm-hmm.
got a link here. It just talks about AMD yesterday revealed AMD Fidelity FX Super Resolution 2.0, the next generation version of their impressive spatial upscaling tech that can really help improve performance. And it says for those who don't use it and are confused, the whole idea is that it produces high resolution outputs from lower resolution inputs. It's one way to get good performance at 4K, for example. For games that are a bit too resource intensive, it can work with many resolutions, and the Steam Deck has FSR built in. And so it just goes on and talks about there are some kind of limitations to it, but so the FSR is almost like it's the answer to not it's not the answer, but it's kind of a almost like a sidecar to NVIDIA's DLSS, which is another upscaling technique. The only difference between FSR and DLSS is FSR is not like artificial. So FSR requires the hardware like helps it work.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
whereas DLSS is artificial and requires no hardware support. It's but it the FSR was released and so it will help. So basically what it does, it runs in almost kind of like it's like a background. It's runs in the background of games. It's actually been given to developers recently to be used in games, and they actually at GDC they showed off the one game they showed off the resolution enhancement with was Deathloop on, I believe it was X, might not have been X on PlayStation. I'm not sure, but they ran Deathloop with the thing, and obviously you have your quality and your performance and all those different modes, and they showed how this FSR 2.0 technology can really boost your resolution in a game without taking a hit to your frame rate. Because
Mm-hmm.
right now, I know, like I'm not familiar, but I mean, you have the Xbox and the PlayStation. You have your different modes when you put a new game in, and depending
Mm-hmm.
on the mode you pick, you have to give. There's some sacrifices. So if you
Yeah.
want, good resolution, you usually take a hit to your frame rate. Correct.
Yep. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So then there's a balanced mode where you can do, and also, and then there's where I think there's a mode where you can pick where you choose frame rate over resolution.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so this kind of bridges that gap and helps to where you want to play. So if you want to play a game in 4K resolution and you want it at 60 frames per second, this can do that.
That's cool.
So you can play your 4K at 60, and so you don't take a hit. Now you're not going to get 4K, 120 on your Xbox, but you are going to get a solid 4K 60 lot. So
Yeah.
which is cool. And this technology, like I said, has been. I put down here another one, kind of going along with it. Said this technology has been confirmed to be coming to Xbox. And it says an FSR 1.0 has also been used in a Switch game, which is Life is Strange: True Colors. And I'll talk about that in a minute. But over on The Verge, they talk about Xbox being confirmed to be using this. And let's see. It says last week AMD promised a new technology that should let you blow up your games to higher resolutions or increase their frame rates without requiring the fancy machine learning hardware of NVIDIA's GPUs, like NVIDIA's lauded DLSS. Now at GDC 22 is revealing how the new Fidelity FX Super Resolution 2.0 actually works, and that it's coming to Microsoft's Xbox game consoles too. Says while AMD says it can't actually say when Xbox game developers might take advantage of FSR 2.0, It says it will also be fully supported on Xbox and will be available in the Xbox GDK for registered developers to use in their games. And then it goes on to talk about the computers and what GPUs you can use and stuff like that. But so it Xbox is going to Xbox is going to have access to this like day one. So developers will get it when they get their when they get their kits. It'll be
Okay.
automatically like if they want to use it, they'll have access to it. So which is
Okay.
cool. So that means Xbox and when you play an Xbox game, you can potentially in the future you won't have to worry about taking a hit to your frame rate and resolution, like
Okay.
because it already be in the game. FSR this will technology will be embedded in the video game. Like you won't even like, and it's cool because you don't. It's not something you have to activate. It's just automatically activated.
That's
So,
cool.
which is cool. And I put it on there, but so it was so Square released some information, and this is kind of a couple of weeks ago, but they released some information on the Life is Strange True Colors, which this is interesting, and it's only speculation, obviously, but people have been talking about how can Switch run games and you know as the future goes on and keep the resolution or the picture quality where it's at. And so
Mm-hmm.
there was Square broke down kind of how they um, did this with the FSR. And so in dock, this only works. I will say this only works in dock mode. But so they said the beauty of Nintendo Switch is having the best of both worlds. It says if you fancy a chilled session on your big TV at home, dock the console and settle in the complete. It says within Life is Strange True Colors, we have integrated the AMD Fidelity FX Super Resolution technique for when the game is docked, which increases performance at 1080p without a hit to visual quality. And so it goes on talks about other stuff, but it's interesting. Nobody knew that this FSR technology was even used. It wasn't until Square released this that that was it. So I guess people have talked about when Life is Strange is played on the Switch. They noticed it plays very very well in dock mode, and there is no frame rate dips, and it doesn't the quality is fantastic. And so it
Mm-hmm.
turns out it's this program that Square used from AMD embedded in the game that when docked is initiated and runs the game at the highest resolution without taking a hit to frame quality, which is
Gotcha. Yeah.
cool, which could lead. I mean, so if Switch starts using this, Nvidia's DLSS, and then you get some of these companies that start using this FSR beside it, because we got games like Hogwarts Legacy coming to the Switch, and people are like, well, how's this going to run? There's obviously only option would be like a new console or new or some kind of type of magic, and this could be that answer. We could be looking at how Switch prolongs its life by just a little bit longer by using this kind of technology to make their games run a little smoother. So I
Yeah.
think it's kind of neat. It's kind of exciting. I mean, it's cool. It's cool that they're able to. I mean, if the and that you think about this FSR technology, if it can run a game at 4K or even 1440p at 60 frames or 1440p at 120 frames and 4K at 60 on these high tech consoles, and I mean imagine what it could do on a Switch at 1080. I mean it has
Mm-hmm.
to work a lot less hard
Yeah.
to keep up. So and
Yeah.
it's
That sounds.
rumored
Yeah. Sorry.
it's
Go ahead.
rumored that the Switch Sports could be using this FSR technology as well. Not sure because technically not supposed to talk about it.
Gotcha.
But Switch Sports, when it was released to reviewers, they were allowed to play it, but they weren't allowed to talk about it.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds all cool. I'm like we've talked about DLSS before. Xbox has done a really good job with their own stuff like auto HDR, FPS boost, like all this stuff. So it's cool that like other companies are doing this also to help boost even modern games, the resolution or the FPS, make sure that you can have both, but best of both worlds. So that's really cool.
which is yeah, it's cool because I mean I haven't obviously played any of them, but I heard like a lot of people are talking about the Horizon Zero Dawn, the new one, and they're talking about
Uh-huh.
they some of it that they had to like you said you have to pick. So one has to be sacrificed. You either pick graphics and sacrifice frame rate, or you pick frame rate and sacrifice graphics, and people didn't like that, and so stuff like this could fix that issue.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, which
and
is crazy because like I picked with Horizon specifically. Usually with any game, I'll pick the frames. You know, boost the frames. But with Horizon, it's like it was like how's it like? Did I make a choice? Because it looks so good. Like I just like and it runs so good. But anyways, but yeah, yeah, that's all cool. So
yeah, so I think it's neat too that it's right now Xbox. It's obviously it's coming to PC, but which would be good
mhm.
because with Microsoft being connected to the PC as well. But
Yeah.
um, Xbox is getting this, and so if they get it and they get the ground running, this could be very good for them.
Yeah,
Alongside
what
Game
you're
Pass.
you're saying, Death they're showing it with Deathloop. Deathloop is supposed to come to Xbox, supposedly, sometime this year, which is cool.
Yeah, which I
So maybe
believe.
they can,
Yeah, which I believe
with
in the
that.
article that's what it was. They were at GDC. They showed Deathloop running on the Xbox with the FSR technology.
Okay, it's cool.
So yeah, so they must be. It's probably and they must be implementing that then on the Xbox when it comes out when it launches.
Hmm. Which is exciting.
Yeah,
Um, okay, cool. So was there anything else with that?
no, no,
Or-
that was it.
Okay. So we'll move on to new games releasing this week. You have Crusader Kings 3 for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. We talked about this a little bit last week. It was showed in the Xbox Indie showcase. And it is coming to Game Pass day one. On March 29th, same day, you have WRC 10 coming to Switch. That's a racing game. Um, then you have Death Stranding Director's Cut coming to PC March 30th. Moss Book 2 coming to PlayStation VR March 31st. And Weird West coming to Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, and PC. And that game is also day one on Xbox. I've heard that's like Red Dead, but like a RPG type thing.
That's cool.
So yeah, I would like to check it out, but like time. So,
Yeah, I'm telling you. Hey, that Moss game for the PSVR, I've seen that.
uh-huh.
I've seen that game. That game looks pretty good.
Yeah, I think the first one it was exclusive, like a time exclusive. I think it's on like Oculus and other places. If I might be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure the first one is. So the second one probably will eventually be on other VR platforms. But yeah, it does look cool. Because yeah, like I said, like the first one I saw gameplay a lot of the first one. So but before, so we have a topic of the show, 2022 games we're looking forward to. But first, I meant to talk about this at the very beginning when I was talking about games I've been playing. So I watched the first episode of the Halo TV show
No, yeah.
on Paramount Plus. It's so I just want to briefly give my thoughts on it. It's okay, I guess. So there's definitely some there's okay, so first of all, there's definitely some CGI issues at certain points,
Ugh.
um, which is unfortunate. Aesthetically, I think it looks cool. It looks like Halo, and it does a good job of like sometimes in the games it gets lost on how big Master Chief is and how big the aliens are, the Covenant are. I should say the elites are because there are other aliens in the Covenant. But the show does a good job. Like the elites are huge compared to normal humans. They're still tall next to Master Chief and the other Spartans. So it does do a really good job about showing the scale of like the world and the characters. But there's just some weird decisions they made with like the story. I don't understand. Um, so they first, like they there's like there's something. So how do I say this? So um the main one of the main bad guys is a human raised by the Covenant, which is not at all in the games or the books or anything. So that's a weird decision.
Wow.
It's like, oh, we have to have a human enemy or something. I guess I don't know. So that's a weird decision. Master Chief, unfortunately, they, you know, they've kind of ruined one of the main points of the games is well, one of the main point if you haven't played Halo, one of the main points of the games is Master Chief more man or machine, and they like they explore that a lot in the games, and then like first episode immediately he's like disobeying orders and then making jokes, and he takes off his helmet, and obviously it's some dude, and it's like I don't like it. So,
So he's not like
uh,
the tough guy like he is, or the mysterious like
yeah,
the
it's just like oh he's like a dude, and it's like it's weird. It's like and then like I said, he takes his helmet off, which has never happened in games, and should never happen in
yeah.
games. We say, you know, if they ever do, then they're in it. They're in for a lot of trouble over there. So, um, but yeah, so I like I said, it's fine. I guess like there are people out there who's never gonna watch play the games or read the books. So, this is a way to get those people into Halo, I guess. Um, so, but we'll see how the rest of the series goes, and yeah. So just wanted to throw that out there, and that's on Paramount Plus. So
That's cool. Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, obviously, I'm not a big um like I'm not that I'm not a Halo fan, but I've never played a Halo game like
uh,
story wise. I played the multiplayer, so I was curious to hear how this was going to go from a Halo fan, and so heard it and doesn't seem like they're on
yes.
the right path.
And then like I did see something where like either the director or the producer or one of the show creators were like, yeah, we didn't even look at the books or or the games, and I'm like, well, okay, there you go. So
See that this goes back to my point where I said Hollywood shouldn't make video game movies or shows.
yeah, yeah.
Like they
I
just
mean,
they're not.
like I said, the aesthetic's really cool. So I'm like, oh, they could have really had something here, but I don't know.
This is why they ruin it every time.
Hmm.
Like
So
I get it. I
yeah,
mean, I don't know. See, it's hard because I get, I don't know. I'm not an artist at all in any shape of the imagination. I love art. I am not an artist. I am not artistic or creative. But so movies and video games are both an art form, in their own respect. And people have a vision, a creative vision when they go in. So when you create a video game, the creator has a vision of how he wants that, or she, how they want that video game to go. And so they design this video game, and they get their your laborers, if you will, your creators, your designers, your artists, and all that stuff to in line with your decision, your create, that's your creation. So then when somebody else comes in and takes your creation, but then they have their own idea of what they want that creation to be, and so they go and they create it, but you've already had this world created for all of the fans, like you start to
hmm
clash. So the creativeness comes together and it doesn't mesh well. And I
hmm
get both sides. Obviously, if you're a director or a producer, you want your vision to be seen. It's it's your artwork, it's your masterpiece. But it's almost like your masterpiece is piggybacking off of somebody else's masterpiece, and it's never, if I go and try to draw, Da Vinci's Mona Lisa, it's not going to be the same. Like
hmm
my Mona Lisa is going to look different than Da Vinci's Mona Lisa. That was his masterpiece, not mine. And so it's just that's why it doesn't work out. Like when people, unless you get somebody to work beside you, and you take like the original creator and they walk you step by step and you follow their vision, then your masterpiece turns out right alongside. But that's the only
yeah,
way it works out. It's you can't carbon copy something. It's just I don't know. It's
yeah. I
that's
think
my issue.
yeah, go, back to the Halo thing. It was just like the biggest that like okay, you can have your human enemy raised by the Covenant. That's weird. There's plenty of cool Covenant aliens that are evil that you could have as a villain. But okay, but like the Master Chief part was like the biggest sin, I guess, like you could say. It's like this character like you've had for Halo's 20 years old now. It's like like I said, like is he more of a man or machine? Like that's like explored a lot in the games where it's like how does he keep fighting, like you know he keeps going, and it's like is he how is he as a like a person able to do that, like, and not just like break, like
Yeah,
and it's like and then like immediately he's like, oh, I gotta take my helmet off to connect with this girl, and so I can save her, and it's like okay,
and that's
all
the
right,
thing.
buddy.
Is to see, like, the producer or director or actor. How I don't, we'll never know how it. So they have, they're like, well, I have this vision of who I think this character is and who I want them to
Yeah,
be, so I'm going to make it that way, which is
yeah,
fine. I get that, but you can't. I mean, then you need to create your own
hmm
character and do that with
yeah.
them
There,
and take an
yeah,
existing.
go, yeah, make a Halo show just somewhere else. Like,
Yes,
like
that's what,
there's like all kinds of things you could do with Halo, but
that's what
I
I'm
don't know.
saying. Like it's I don't know. It's just like I said, it's hard to take an existing character, and I don't know. I
Mhm.
think
Yeah.
and I think you can see when people are successful, like they, again, going back to the created, like like you can look at Disney and Marvel. Stan Lee was very much a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the beginning and helped mold the characters. And Disney didn't stray much, too far away from who the characters were and are, and that's why it's so successful. And then
hmm
you take something like Halo and you completely change the main character, and it's it's there's I would say a nine. It's not always going to fail, but I say there's a 90% chance for failure.
Yeah.
I think, and that's why I think some of these video game movies. I mean, especially like you think back to Doom. When you play Doom, it's a first-person shooter. You don't really see Doom guy. Like he's just he's kind of just there, and then you get Doom, and you all of a sudden he's the Rock, and he's just and it's like, well,
Yeah.
not how I imagine this dude who's fighting in the pits of hell. To like it's not what I envisioned. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's depressing, but again, it just reinforces my Hollywood thing. And like,
Yeah.
but we'll
Um.
see. Maybe like I said, there's The Last of Us. Like, sounds like they're
mhm,
doing the right
Yeah.
thing. They're using the original creator to create
hmm
the movie. Hopefully, they, we'll see. But that sucks. I
Fingers
was hoping
crossed.
I was. Oh, not for my sake, but for you and the fans of Halo. I was hoping it would be good, but
Yeah. Like I said, it's fine. If someone doesn't know anything about Halo, but they just like sci-fi, they'll probably like dig it because, like I said, the aesthetics really cool. Aliens look cool. Everything. Like I said, there is some CGI problems. Hopefully, they fix that. Uh, but yeah, so fingers crossed. We'll see how the rest of the season plays out and all that. So, but moving on to the topic of the show, big 2022 games we're looking forward to. We're going to go down the list of dates that we know, and then we'll talk about some games that don't have dates yet but are still supposed to come out this year, and have not yet been delayed or anything like that. So, obviously, the next big game coming out this year is Lego Star Wars. We've already talked about that, and we will talk about that once it comes out and we've played it. Um, Looking forward to that. MLB The Show 22, not really for us. We're not baseball people,
nope.
but that is coming to everything on the same day as Lego Star Wars, and also coming to Game Pass day one. Uh, Chrono Cross, the Radical Dreamers Edition, obviously a HD port of the PlayStation 1 game coming out April 7th to PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, PC. Aaron, did you play Chrono Cross back in the day?
I did.
Okay. What do you
Um,
think? Like, was it good?
no.
Some people like it. Obviously, enough people like it. They're bringing it back, but I've not played it.
I
Um,
think I think Chrono Trigger would have been a better choice.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Chrono Cross, not so much. And then, like from what I've seen on the trailer, this game looks like poop. So, I mean, I don't know where the HG textures are, but it looks like I'm playing it on my PS1 again. So it's like plugging my
Funny.
PS1 with the what the I can't remember the audio things, the video, the jacks, plug it back into my TV. So there's no
Yeah,
HD anything. It's all fuzzy, muddy mess. But maybe they'll fix it when it comes out. I don't know. But no, I am not excited for this at all. I
yeah,
was, but I played Chrono Cross when growing up. I had a bad experience with it. I beat the game in like I don't know, it felt like 5 hours, and
really.
it's just.
Okay,
I mean, there's multiple endings, but
okay.
so
Yeah, I like I said, I've played. I haven't actually never finished Chrono Trigger, but I think, like you said, that would have been a better choice. But I've not played Chrono Cross. I won't be getting it day one, but it's on the list. You know,
is
the long list.
this is a digital release,
But
right?
as far as I know, yes, I
Yeah,
believe
so see,
so.
I'm not in a rush to get it. If it's not physical, if I
Yeah.
if I get super bored one day, I'll be like, no, get it Chrono Cross. That's what,
It's like 99 cents, and then it's
yeah.
like, I guess.
Like now we're bargain binning.
Uh, moving down the list here. 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim is getting a Switch port on April 12th. I've not played this game. I've heard it's very good. It's by Vanillaware. It's like a visual novel, but also a strategy game, I believe. So I know a lot of people are excited about that coming to Switch. Um, uh, Nintendo Switch Sports, April 29th, obviously for Switch. Aaron, you were talking about this earlier. Are you getting it?
Yeah, this would be a day one for me.
Okay. I haven't decided yet. I would like to, but then I'm also like, am I really going to play it that much? So I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
see.
This one I think I'll play, especially with the online aspect. I played the other one, the Wii Sports a lot, and then
Yeah,
so I probably played with the
that's a good
online
game.
aspect. So probably be fun.
Okay. Um, moving down the list. Evil Dead the game coming to everything. I know there's some people that are really into that series. I am not.
Yeah, I'd
I
like to
don't know
see
if
what this
Aaron
is.
is.
I am super into the Evil Dead movies,
Yeah.
so we'll
Okay.
see. I'd like to see what this game looks like, but this could be fun. Yeah, the Evil Dead movies are like like fantastic. So
Mhm. Uh, Vampire the Masquerade Swan Song. I know that series is it's niche, but it's like kind of big. A lot of people like it, I guess. May 19th, 2022. That's supposed to come to um, pretty much everything. It looks um, like I said, I've never played those games, but I know that they're big for some people. Sniper Elite 5 coming on May 26th to PlayStation, Xbox, PC. That's another like niche series, but like they sell enough that people are just they're they keep buying them, so they keep making them, and they look cool.
they
Like all
do.
like I guess I should say like the gore shots where like the bullet enters the person's like head or something. It
Yes.
looks cool.
Yeah.
Um, Try one out someday, I guess. The Pac-Man Museum Plus coming to Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, PC. That looks really cool. I don't know if I'll get that day one, but it does look cool that uh, that they're bringing it to modern. I know they've done Pac-Man collections before, but it's cool. Like they're bringing more back. So is this the one for you, Aaron?
Uh,
Pac-Man?
I don't know. I don't be honest. I haven't seen much on it.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yeah. So I don't know.
Well,
um,
here's the games. You have obviously Pac-Man, the original, Super Pac-Man, Pac and Pal, Pac-Land, Pac-Mania, Pac Attack, Pac in Time, Pac Arrangement arcade version, Pac-Man Battle Royale, Pac-Man 256, and I think there's more that they're not listing here, but um,
That might be interesting. Yeah, it sounds like it's got some of the platformers on it.
yeah.
The Pac-Man platformers were legit. I don't know. People may not agree with that, but some of the Pac-Man was like I think that's the one. Some of those games are amazing. I played those back in the day. So yeah, so I might. Some of the 3D Pac-Man games are amazing as well.
Mm-hmm. Mario Strikers Battle League June 10th for Switch. Aaron, you getting this?
Oh, dude, that's a day. That's like that's a pre-day one. Like I'm pre-ordering this and hoping they like leaks early.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, no, this is totally day one. I am super duper pumped for this game.
Yeah. Not so much from. I'm just not into the sports stuff with the Mario. Like I know you were into the golf one and all that, but just
Yeah.
not for me. So the Quarry on June 10th, that for PlayStation, Xbox, PC. That is a game by Supermassive Games. It's being published. This one's being published by 2K Games. They made Until Dawn for PlayStation 4. They've made some of the other games in that style, Man of Medan, House of Ashes, and then there's one or two other ones, but it's in that like but this one specifically is that like 80s, horror, teen horror flick type deal.
That's cool.
So it looks cool. um I don't know if I'll get it day one, but I did like Until Dawn quite a bit. But it's cool that they someone's making these kinds of games, and that's really cool. So moving down here, you have the Capcom Fighting Collection for PlayStation, Xbox, PC, Switch, June 24th. I think this one might be up your more alley than my own. But let me get the list here. Games included, if it let me. Okay. So it looks like you have Street Fighter 2 Anniversary Edition, Super Gem Fighter, Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, Red Earth, Cyber Bots, Darkstalkers, Night Warriors, Vampire Savior, Vampire Hunter 2, Vampire Savior 2. Is this speaking to you, Aaron? You're into fighting
Yeah,
games.
this looks really good. I mean, the Darkstalkers and Darkstalkers 2 alone sold the game for me, but then some of the other ones like the Super Puzzle Fighter or whatever, that looks really
Mm-hmm.
good. And always been because then that came out like the Neo Geo Color, and so I've always been interested in those little things. And but then they got some of these rare games on there, like some of the other like the Vampire Savior, which is another Darkstalker spin-off type deal,
Mm-hmm.
and some of those games we never got here, and so pretty excited. Yeah, so this one I'm really excited for this one.
Yeah, the art. I'm just looking at the art for some of the. It looks really good. Like the sprite. They're not sprites, but yeah, just like the 2D art. It looks really good for these.
Yeah, the characters are cool. Like when I was growing up, there was a cartoon, Darkstalkers cartoon. It was really really cool. It was in the same artwork as Gargoyles,
Mhm.
so it was really neat.
Yeah. Next up, Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes for Switch, June 24th. I will be getting this begrudgingly because I'd rather just have a new Fire Emblem game. But
You don't play
this
the
is what
hack
we're
and
getting.
slash.
It's fine. I just worry. I worry for it because of how Age of Calamity ran.
Yeah,
Uh, I we'll see. And then hopefully the story's good. That's also one of the problems I have with Age of Calamity is how the story went. So hopefully this one's not like, oh, it's like if this didn't happen in the actual game, and I'm like, well, that did happen.
yeah.
So
This better just continue the story. Age of
yeah.
Calamity was a big letdown.
Mm.
But I will say the way like I can't remember who makes these games. Is it
Koei
Ninja Theory?
Tecmo.
It's not Ninja
Koei
Theory,
Tecmo.
huh? Koei Tecmo,
Yep.
and like they've evolved
Hmm.
these games a lot. They call them the Musha titles or whatever. um, they've really like kind of involved the series. Like I remember playing Hyrule Warriors Legends or whatever the OG, and I mean it's cool, it was fun, but the way it was like laid out wasn't great. Um, then Age of Calamity came out. I was like, oh, okay, I really like how they're. I didn't like the game. I mean, I liked the game, hated the story because it was a big lead up and then it was a big letdown. But then, but I like the way that the direction they took it. Like, with the if you were a completionist, like there's a lot to do, and I like how they laid it out and they made it accessible and easy to do. I mean, it
Yeah.
time consuming, but the way they did it, and then I just recently started playing Fire Emblem Warriors on the Switch, and it was different than Hyrule Warriors like Legends, the original one. And so I'm kind of excited to see what they do here with the Fire Emblem Warriors Three Hopes, like because you always get your main story, and then they always have that little side thing, like in Fire Emblem Warriors, it's called History Mode, and so you play through different scenarios that takes place in uh, one of the games, like of the series.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's cool.
they're randomized maps, and like in Hyrule Legends, the original one you played, like there was a map of the old Zelda, and you played through that, and then in obviously Hyrule Legends, it's the whole collecting all these parts and the Age of Calamity, and so each one has, like I said, they all have their own little kind of side stories and side things, and I think the way they're evolving though, like I think they're getting better.
For sure.
Like so, but I do agree. Like the stories, hopefully the story's good. Like I think there was a lot of meat in the Hyrule Legends Age of Calamity, but
Mm-hmm.
I think the meat just you started chewing on the meat, and all of a sudden you got some fat at the end. I'm like,
Yeah.
it turned from a steak to some ground beef like real quick. Like so, hopefully they don't, yeah. So I'm in agreement with you. Hopefully this is a continuation. This isn't just you know like a what if story, or like you said, if this happened,
Yeah.
hopefully it really does take place in the same universe and it just
Mm-hmm.
ties in somehow.
Uh, June 28th, you have Disguise 6 Complete coming to PlayStation consoles and PC. Um, I feel like I would really like the series, but I just haven't gotten into it yet. But I know it came to Switch last year, so now it's making its way over to PlayStation and PC. So that's cool for those people. In July, you have the Klonoa uh, remakes. This I didn't even know this character or platformer even existed. So people were like stoked for it. I'm like, oh, I had never even heard of this before. But that's coming to Switch July 8th. Aaron, I think you said you were excited for this.
I
Was
am,
that, am I
yeah,
okay?
super excited. I played this game like way back on the PS1.
PS1. Okay. So
So
yeah, I just didn't even know this was our thing.
yeah,
So
a lot of people probably don't. He showed up and then he just kind of walked out of everybody's lives.
just went off into the night. So,
He
um,
did. Never returned
so
till just now.
so that's coming July 8th. Aaron's excited. July 22nd for Switch, you have Live Alive, a 2D HD remake of that game. Only released in Japan, correct? Back in the day.
Yep.
And now it's making its way for the first time over in the West. So that is exciting. I love the 2D HT style, so I'm definitely going to be all over this one. August, you have the new Saints Row reboot game coming August 23rd for Xbox, PlayStation, PC. I don't really have anything to say about that, but I know a lot of people. Obviously, that series is big. Soul Hackers 2 coming to PlayStation, Xbox, surprisingly. Atlas, looking at you. PC, August 26th. Now, I believe if I read about this correctly, it was originally a PlayStation 1 game and it was ported to 3DS and now it's getting a sequel. Is that correct, Aaron? Do you know?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah, I'm not so familiar with Soul Hackers on the PlayStation, but I do know. Yeah, it was ported to the Nintendo's handheld systems. it's hard to keep up. There were so many, like there was uh Soul Summoner or Demon
Yeah,
Satellite, and then there's Soul Hackers, and then there's so the Shin Megami Tensei series has a lot. But yes,
yeah, it
I
has
do
a
know.
lot of those creatures, right? The monsters, the demons, whatever.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So this one's, if I'm not, I've never played this one, but if I'm not mistaken, this is got like a digital feel to it, where
Hmm.
like the other ones are, it's so it's I don't know, it's a little different, but yeah, it's along the all of Shin Megami Tensei games are usually along the same lines. Like
Yeah.
it's demon hunting, and like save the world type series stuff. So
Yeah. Cool that it's Atlas is bringing a game to Xbox. It's been a while. It's been I want to say the last one was probably Catherine, like the original version of that. What came to 360. Um, Either that one or the Persona fighting game, which somehow is not on Xbox anymore. I don't know what happened there, but
so weird.
um, so bring more games, Atlas. Bring more games, Xbox. Um, September, you have the Legend of Heroes Trails from Zero coming to PS4, Switch, PC. That's a huge niche. I shouldn't say it's a huge. It's a very niche series. Legend of Heroes. Obviously, you have Trails of Cold Steel, Trails on the Sky. This one, I believe, was a PSP game only in Japan, and now it's being obviously ported over, which is cool for that the fans of that series. So, October, Forspoken coming to PS5 and PC. October 11th. I was really excited about that delay just because there's so many games out. I was panicking a little bit, so you know breathe a little bit. Also, that month you have Gotham Knights for PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. I'm also looking forward to that quite a bit. That's a co-op game. I'm gonna play that with Tyler, probably my brother. November, we have Starfield for Xbox Series, consoles, and PC. November 11th. Very excited for this one. Bethesda Games. I really love Skyrim, Elder Scrolls, I should say, because I like the older uh, ones of those as well. Um, yeah, I'm looking forward to it's a new IP from them. Uh, yeah, looking excited for it. Looking forward to it. They also have Stalker 2 here for December 8th. I don't believe that's going to happen anymore right now. I think that will be delayed just due to their country being invaded.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
um, but that game does look that looks good. I believe that's Unreal Engine 5. So that's cool. So I think the last I saw that they were relocating to Czech Republic, I think. So they're trying to get out of Ukraine and all that stuff. So best of luck to them over there. But moving on to games that don't have release date, except they're supposedly coming out this year. Plague Tale Requiem coming to Xbox, PlayStation 5, Switch, PC. That looks really good. I'm excited for that. I played the first one a couple years ago. Really like that. Advanced Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp supposed to come out. It was supposed to come out in April, and then they delayed it indefinitely. They said it was because of the situation in Ukraine, but I think that game is having some issues, obviously, because it was delayed once and then it was delayed again, and now that's just they don't have a date for it. So I don't know what's going on with that game. Uh, Bayonetta 3, I don't think that's coming out this year either. We haven't seen anything from that game
Yep.
except that one trailer last year, I think it was.
Yep.
Um,
The telltale
yeah,
sign for this would be E3. If we get something at E3, if not,
yeah.
no, the game's not coming out. There's no way.
Mm-hmm. Blossom Tales 2, The Minotaur Prince, coming to Switch PC this year. I have the first one downloaded. I haven't played it yet, but it's basically like a Zelda type, like a Link to the Past type game, which is cool. Well, I should say the first one's like that. I don't know if the second one is of similar style, so could be a little bit different. Um, list here. Destiny 2 Lightfall, that's the next expansion. I don't know if that will come out this year either, just because the last expansion got delayed for Witch Queen. But I've heard it's very, like, that expansion's really good for Destiny fans. So, congratulations to them. I wish I could join the party. But the Destroy All Humans 2 Reprobed remake thing is supposed to come out this year for PlayStation, Xbox, PC. I played the remake of the first one last year. I really liked it. So looking forward to that one whenever it comes out. Diablo Immortal supposedly comes out this year for iOS and Android. We'll see if that happens. I don't know.
Yeah,
But if it does, I'll check it out.
Yeah, I'll
See what's
download it.
about.
Probably play it for a day and then delete it off my phone.
There you go. Digimon Survive. Digimon games thriving, coming out. That's coming to Xbox, PlayStation 4, Switch, PC. Disney Speedstorm. That's the free to play, I believe, the free to play kart racer with all the Disney characters, which is cool.
I'm curious about this one.
Dragon Ball The Breakers coming to PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, PC. And I believe that's like a multiplayer game. I don't know too much about it, but I do know that obviously Dragon Ball is huge. So you have Euden Chronicle Rising coming to Xbox and PC this year. This is the so this is like a niche game. So this is made by the guy who originally made the Suikoden games. Okay. So this is like he's making like 2 games, and then this is one of them, and then the other one's coming out next year, 2023. So that's pretty cool that Xbox kind of locked them in, which is cool. Xbox needs more RPGs, of course. Fall Guys is supposed to come to Xbox and Switch this year. Not too much to say about that, other than that's the game's fun. It's enraging, of course. Yes. Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis is supposed to come to phones this year. That's like a retelling of all the Final Fantasy stuff, I guess, in episodes. I don't know how that's going to go, but I'll check it out for sure. Front Mission First remake. That's a Square Enix strategy game. Originally, I believe on PlayStation 1. Aaron, do you know?
Yes, it was PS1.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. God of War Ragnarok for PlayStation. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I'm looking forward to that game. Hopefully, it makes it this year. If not, early next year.
Again, we'll see E3. I think E3 is going to be a defining moment for a lot of video games.
Hogwarts Legacy, obviously coming this fall. We talked about that last week. Looks, fantastic. Looking forward to it. Scrolling down through the list. The Klonoa remakes are coming to other consoles. I think I said Switch earlier. They just don't have a date for the other consoles yet, so that keep an eye on that. Life is Strange Remastered Collection is supposed to come to Switch this year. This is a big one. Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope from Ubisoft, the XCOM style strategy game, coming out this year. I know a lot of people looking forward to that. Marvel's Midnight Sun, speaking of XCOM, just XCOM, but with Marvel Heroes, same developers, so that's cool, exciting. I'll hopefully be able to check that out when that comes out.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one.
Multiverses. This is the free-to-play Smash Bros. Clone with WB characters. So you have stuff like Scooby-Doo, but you also have stuff like Batman. I think there's a character from Game of Thrones coming in. All this and it's supposed to be free to play, so it's kind of cool that they're making like this high quality type Smash Bros. Game, but kind of like what Nickelodeon was doing with their game, but obviously free to play. Platform that they can keep updating, which is cool. No Man's Sky coming to Switch this year somehow. I don't know how. That game's huge. Obviously. The Pokemon Scarlet and Violet games coming out this fall. I know, Aaron, you're really excited about that.
I am super excited. Still don't know which one I'm getting. Some people have pointed out this little small thing that I didn't notice, but people like there's super fans all over the internet that pay attention to every single detail. But if you look at the writing of the Scarlet and the Violet, and or the way that the font that is used in Scarlet, it's more of a Victorian type style writing, and if you look at Violet, it's more of a futuristic style
Huh.
uh, font. So
Okay.
that's the only thing right now that I know that is going to make me. That's the only thing I'm basing my decision off of, and so based on that, I'm leaning towards Scarlet because I don't want a futuristic sci-fi Pokemon. I would rather have an old school Victorian Pokemon. So, but that's literally it. It could change. So, but
Yeah.
this is the first time a Pokemon game's come out, and I haven't made up my mind which one I want. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's yeah, hopefully I like it. I guess I've said this before, I think, elsewhere, but I didn't like Sword, but I liked Diamond, the Diamond remake, and then I liked Legends Arceus. So hopefully these are to my liking as well. Um Going down, Redfall is supposed to come out this year. That's for Xbox Series consoles and PC. That's made by Arcane. It's supposed to be like a looter shooter type deal, which is cool. Think like, I guess, like Borderlands style, not like Destiny, but like Borderlands where it's single player, but you can co-op, I believe, which is cool. Sea of Stars is supposed to come out this year. That's supposed to come to Switch as well, I think. It's from the creators of the Messenger, but it was in an indies
Oh yeah,
thing, where it's like there's a specific game. It might have been it might be Chrono Trigger that it's taking inspiration from, but yeah, so that's cool. Looking forward to that one. Sonic Frontiers, pulling for you, big guy over here. Hopefully, you got a good game here.
if they can pull it off, this could be the first Sonic game that I really get into.
Splatoon 3 for Switch, supposed to be this summer. That's exciting. I like Splatoon 2 a lot. I know you do too, Aaron.
Oh yeah.
Star Ocean: The Divine Force coming to Xbox, PlayStation, PC. Hopefully, it's good. The trailer was not good when they showed it. Like as far as like how it ran. Hopefully, it's good. Star Wars Hunters. That's that like arena. I guess you say arena shooter type deal for Switch and phones. We'll see how that goes. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. That's the new one coming out this year. Beat 'em up game. I know you're excited about that, Aaron.
Oh, yeah, I'm super pumped.
As well as the Cowabunga collection coming out this year. And hopefully the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel coming out this year. Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh, hold your breath.
That disgusting Lord of the Rings Gollum game is supposed to come out this year. It looks terrible, but
awesome.
And
speaking of Lord of the Rings, did you?
Yeah.
You know the series is coming to Prime, right? The new series.
Yeah.
So
September, I think.
Yeah, and I was listening to somebody. So this will. So Amazon. This just goes again. Amazon is second in line to World of World, but they have will be the most expensive production of any TV show. They are investing $1 billion in this TV show.
Yeah, I did see that. And like the first season's like 3 episodes or something. Stupid.
It is crazy.
So, yeah.
So yeah, I just had to put that in there. It's a lot of money for a TV show, but anyway.
Yeah, better be like, the greatest TV show ever made. Yes, I don't know.
Yeah.
Last thing I got here, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 coming to Switch this September. I am very excited about this. I love Xenoblade, the first one, and then especially the second one. X was okay, I thought, on Wii U,
Yep.
but I'm really looking forward to 3.
Yeah, I'm excited. I haven't played 2 yet. I got it. I just haven't played it.
You got it. You got it, man. They're all connected, and it seems like it's all coming to a head in 3
Yep.
from the trailer. So
Part 1 was amazing. Beat it.
Yep.
Great game. I didn't play the prologue, but the main game I beat. And then, so I've heard a lot about Part 2. I mean, it took me a while to get it because I didn't get it initially, and so I had to. I think I got it last year. I got lucky. My sister-in-law said, "Hey, GameStop's got it up on their online," and so I was actually at church, and I was like, "Skipsies," and I went and bought the game in the hallway, and so
nice.
But so I got it because I'm fortunate enough to be able to get it at a decent price, but I haven't played it yet. Like to. If I beat Kirby and I got some time, it'll scratch that role playing itch that I have because I haven't played Triangle Strategy yet. So unless I pick that game up, and then it's Black Chronicles goes on the back burner again.
Yeah. But that's it. That's all I got for 2022. Obviously, huge year for game releases. Everything that was delayed by COVID is starting to come out, and now we have to deal with it. So,
yep.
Before we go, just remember to like, subscribe, leave reviews. We're on YouTube, Spotify. We had an issue with Apple and Google. We're up on those now, so we leave us those nice words. And of course, we're on Twitter. Our account is at red green pod under or no, hang on, that's not the right thing. I should know it. Red. Yeah, it's at red green light underscore. And then of course our own personal accounts. I'm at just okay Jeremy, and then of course Aaron is on there as hang on, I gotta find your account.
I think it's at
Aaron Young 83.
Yep.
So we're on Twitter. You can see my I tweet into the void. No one interacts with me, but that's okay. Sometimes you just have to get the thoughts out of your head.
It's good to put them down.
So we'll be back next week, of course, with all of the gaming news. Aaron, anything before we close out?
No, just anybody listening, just thank you for listening and thank you for tuning in.
Thank you. We'll see you guys. Bye.
All right, later.